Hey everyone, Oscar here, Off Map Overland again. I am going to be testing the ARB Twin that we mounted underneath the seat earlier. I'll try to get you guys a good video of that. And I'll try to get the camera in there, give you an idea what it looks like as best I can. But more interest now in how well it works. So we have a 37 by 12.5 BF KM3 on a 17-inch rim. We are going to air this down using my ARB inflator, or easy deflator, and we're going to drop it down to 10 psi according to this gauge, and then we're going to timer that, and then we're also going to timer how long it takes the ARB Twin to run it back up to the pressure that it's currently sitting at. So first thing I'm going to do is use the gauge that I built to see what the current pressure is. Alright, I'm reading 29 psi currently. So, when we test it, we are going to be seeing how long it takes to get a... Let's drop it down to 9 psi. That way we know how long it takes to put 20 psi back into a 37-inch tire. So, 9 psi. Okay, and I'm going to start the timer for that. Hi, Alice.
Oh, no.
Oh, what? Oh, is your car stuck? Play with your drink. Go play with your drink. Hi, sweetie. Can I have a kiss? Mwah. All right, that is 9 psi, and that took 1:40. I feel like 1:40 is a pretty good time. I really like that deflator. Okay, next thing we need to do is hook up our air, and I'm gonna have the engine running while it airs this up, just so it's just easier on the battery. I made this big thing so I didn't have to bend over and watch it while it inflated. Stay here. You know what? I'm going to stop this real quick. I don't think that's an accurate reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it says 9 psi on here and then start all over. So we're going to hook this up. And now we're going to go. You can hear the compressor pumping away in there. So there's 30 seconds. we've got 6 PSI. $19 PSI. 2 minutes of tire is what we're looking at so far. $30. 24 PSI. I'm going to stop it at the 2 minute mark, see where we're at. Wow, 28 PSI in 2 minutes. Perfect. So 2 minutes 17, and I checked it each time. So what I'll do in the future is probably just let it run for a flat 2 minutes and see where I'm at. And that's substantially faster than any other electric compressor I've ever used. That is really good. So I'm gonna disconnect all this, and then I'll try to use that camera to get under the seat and show you the compressor. The ARB Twin Compressor is actually mounted underneath the passenger side seat. And you can see the connections and the power switch right there. And I am using the ARB mount. I have added, see if I can get enough light in here so you can see. There we go. I have added, in addition to putting the larger collar on there so it's easier to disconnect, push buttons and stuff, I've also added a regulator in line. That way I can lower the pressure if I'm using anything that doesn't run at the 100+ pressure that the ARB will put out. So you can see back there I have the air filters. Okay, yeah, you can see it pretty good right there. There's the compressor mount. And then we'll get a picture of it from the back. Under the rear, it kind of has you, you could trim this if you want. I just folded it up. But the reason I really like this mount kit over like JK Innovations and whatnot is you see back here, after I move all that, just a solid plate. So there's absolutely no worries about kids kicking air filters like some other brands out there. So that's what she looks like when she's mounted underneath. Pretty simple. And that just kind of folds up and forward. Push it there, and I actually think it doesn't really affect foot room at all, which was one of the main reasons I bought it. So here I have this wired to an ignition hot only setup. That way this button does nothing unless the ignition's on. So with the ignition, I need to get the key closer. You hear that? We left it on. See, now it's got the light on, light off. Kind of hear the cooling fans running a little bit. So this only works with the ignition on, and the reason I did that is if I ever have the doors off, some kid walking by or somebody can't just push it and have it running and I don't know that it's running and burn up the system or whatever. Just, it only works if the ignition's on, which means the key's nearby, which means I'm nearby. So that's why I have it set up like that. And again, get a couple decent shots of it. I think it's a really good looking kit. Very happy with how it went in and mounted. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments. Or hit us up on Facebook and Instagram. Power off. And I've got a little bleed valve I put in up top here. Just a little Schrader valve. That keeps the system from having a constant pressure on it. Now, cycle the engine off. Switch does nothing. So that's how I have mine set up. Really happy with the system, and honestly that's the fastest air compressor I've ever used. I cannot believe that it went from 9 psi to 29 psi in basically 2 minutes. That 17 seconds was easily just me flipping a switch to see where we were at. I bet you that how fast that thing pumps. If I timed it, I could set it up and put an alarm on my phone, run it, and then when it's done, flip it off, and I bet you I'd be very close because that thing is quick. But 2 minutes per tire, that's 8 minutes to air up. Other compressors I've used have taken me 20-25 minutes to air up. Yeah, no, it's a worthwhile investment. I like it. Big shout to Jason at Crawl Off-Road. He hooked us up with the mount and the compressor itself, and they turned out fantastic. Thanks, Jason.